Hi, other 4815. This is I'd Be Trippin'. I just watched your video Sex, and I also watched the 7 responses that are posted to the video. Yeah, I see you've been getting a lot of flack for a lot of stuff you said in there, and I don't really want to add to that, so I'm not going to. I had kind of a different take than Beware the Lizards or anyone else did. And it's just depressing. It really is depressing. You don't sound like someone who wants to be a prophet or a missionary or someone who's out to have people obey God. What you sound like is someone who just has a hard time getting a girl, and like you're trying to console yourself by running away from the problem. And you've got, it's just depressing, man. It's just really depressing. You've got a couple of ideas that I see and are actually kind of common, which is that the first time needs to be really that sex is going to be great from the get-go, and it's going to stay great all the time, and it's gonna and that it's best to do it with someone that you're married to, that you love very much, yada yada. Well, both of those are not quite accurate. The first part, where sex is great from the get-go and going on, I can tell you from experience, if you're not that experienced and she's not that experienced, then it's not going to be that great, because it's still going to feel good, don't get me wrong, but the first time around you get a lot of stimulation, and that can actually hurt, and then there are all kinds of problems. She's not as flexible as you think she should be. You're not as flexible as you thought you were. You've got some problems with positioning, you've got some problems with aiming, and it just it's just a like, it just ends. The first time, the first couple times, actually, it's pretty hard to do, and you need to kind of work around that. And like I said, it still feels good, but it's not like great. It's not like fantastic. It's not something that's worth waiting until you're like 25 or 28 or 30 years old, or I don't know when you're going to end up getting married. I assume you are, because you look like you're a pretty decent looking guy, and just because you're a Christian, you sound like a pretty fundamentalist Christian, but that doesn't mean there aren't fundamentalist Christian women out there. I assume there's at least as many fundamentalist Christian women as men. Just given that you sound like you live in the U.S., and in the U.S. we have slightly more women than men overall. But yeah. First off, I think that you have just a blown up image of how good it's going to be the first couple times, and you need to be careful about that, because if you end up being really disappointed, well, that could seriously affect your marriage. and that could seriously affect your commitment to your wife, especially if your lust for her is a large part of the reason why you get married. And the second thing about how, sex is best after you get married and ideally before you get divorced, well, I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's I'd say it's related to that. In the U.S., a lot of people get married because they love each other, and that sex is better with someone you love than with someone you don't. But that's not entirely true, because it's not something to do with sex in particular. It's just something to do with the person you love. Going to the movies with someone you love is generally better than going to the movies with someone you don't. Going to the beach. I live in Southern California, so that's one of the first things that comes to mind. So going to the beach or the mountains or the desert, or hell, if you're both in college, just having the same class together is a lot more enjoyable with someone that you love than if you're not taking it with someone you love. It's not a matter of where sex is some ultra special thing that it has to be with someone you love, otherwise it's just not as good. No, that's it. It feels good one way or another. It's just that almost anything is better if you do it with someone you love than with someone you don't. And so clearing up those two things. From the sound of your video, it sounds like you're obsessing over this, and I don't think that's healthy. And you need to realize that you really should tone down that a bit. I think you'd be a lot better off. I don't think for a moment that this is completely because maybe you have trouble getting laid. From your videos, it sounds like you are a pretty fundamentalist Christian, so I can see your religion coming into it too. But, there's stuff you can do with a girlfriend to get off that aren't sex. And so, sorry, the video was getting long. I just wanted to say, don't give up, man. Keep trying. Keep trying for the girl. Just keep trying. Struggle against the actual problem. Don't run away from it, please. And yeah. Anyway, the video is getting a bit long. I had to cut out a whole bunch, and so I'm just gonna basically end it here. I'll see you. Oh, that's right. You're Christian. God be with you.